All praises to Yahweh Shai, and all praises to Yahweh, all praises to Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Yakanan, back with another lesson. And this one is about the Jehovah Witnesses. This is some interesting information that I came across, and I'm just sharing it with all the JW people out here who don't believe that JW is just a New World Order Freemasonry entity. Okay. Well, what we have here, what you have to kind of pay attention to is that they have this archive out by a gentleman named Robert Fateswell, and he's telling you straight up that the Bible students met in a Masonic hall. Okay, so they revealed why they named it the Kingdom Hall, because they always met in Masonic halls. So it's the simplest thing to understand. But let's just listen to it, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Was a way for the small number of kingdom proclaimers to reach millions in populated areas with the good news. In an archived interview, Brother Robert Hatzfeld explains his privilege to have been part of that historic method of preaching.
I was born in 1903 in Pittsburgh in Allegheny, and been a very, very interesting lifetime I've had down through these years. The group that I was in the neighborhood, two of us decided we were going to go to sea as radio operators on ships. In order to get the license, we had to be able to send and receive telegraph messages. And so the two of us came to New York, and we went to the RCA school to learn the telegraph. When I was going to school then, living in Manhattan, I was going to the meetings. There was only one meeting at that time for all the brothers throughout the whole metropolitan area, inside and outside the city, in a rented hall in the Masonic Temple that's still down here in Lafayette Avenue. It was the New York Church of International.
As you can see, they met in Masonic Hall. These were the Bible students in the picture. Okay, let's hear that again.
Two of us came to New York, and we went to the RCA school to learn the telegraph. When I was going to school then, living in Manhattan, I was going to the meetings. There was only one meeting at that time for all the brothers throughout the whole metropolitan area, inside and outside the city, in a rented hall in the Masonic Temple that's still down here in Lafayette Avenue.
So as you can see, they met in the Masonic Hall. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at a few Masonic halls. Well, here's a few of them. Look at this one here. That's a Masonic hall there. As you can see, those are very similar to Kingdom halls. So just let's take a look at some Kingdom halls. Okay, this is one Kingdom hall, and we just saw the Masonic hall. Really simply made, right? Let's look at another one. Well, this is just a quick view of him, but I hope you get the point that basically the gentleman just revealed that in the beginning in New York City, where we know that's where the Watchtower Society is, a secret society. They call themselves a society, and um, they met the Bible students in the beginning met at a Masonic hall. He admitted that, and as you can see when you look at the Kingdom Hall, they're similar to the Masonic halls that a lot of these lodges that they have with the temples they have locally in your community. So it's not a hard stretch here. We pretty much can figure that out off just by just hearing what he said. So I just thought I would bring that out and let you know that this is just no more than a cult. It's and so for all of you who are caught up in the Jehovah's Witnesses religion, this is a big piece of the puzzle. So I just made this video to expose the Jehovah's Witnesses, in which I have family members that are a part of this this cult, and I was able to break free from this this cult religion, and I'm just so glad that I found the truth, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible, and I'm happy to have ran into the brothers diligent in the work of the Most High, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And let me just read a few scriptures to show what's going to happen if you don't leave the Jehovah's Witness organization. This is this secret society, this cult, this masonry. That's all it is. It's Freemasonry. They work on it's a non-verbal communication. They use a lot of symbols and symbolism in their watchtowers that are hidden messages, and that's what causes the strong delusion, and the people can't break free from it because out of fear, if they leave, they get disassociated from their friends and family, and it's a very good tactic that they use to keep the people in line. But let's read Revelations 22:18, which tells you that you're not supposed to remove anything from the Bible or change anything. But the Jehovah's Witnesses have changed the Bible in many ways. If you would read the scripture in Deuteronomy 28:68, it's going to say that we sold ourselves into bondage. Okay, so they don't use the King James version. They have their own New World Translation. That's another giveaway. New World Order, they use a New World Translation. Okay, Revelations 22:18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. So this book was written for the Israelites and to guide them through this shadow of death in which we're up under in captivity in our prison houses. But if we as blood descendants of the patriarch Jacob turn to these cults, this Jehovah Witnesses, we're in league and get in league with them, we're going to share in these plagues. Okay. Okay, so if you're Jehovah Witness, what you need to understand is that the Most High is not dealing with all nations. As a matter of fact, he's only dealing with Israel. So one nation, and all the other nations, as far as salvation is concerned, they will be put into slavery. They're going to go into servitude according to the Bible. So we'll start by identifying those people real quick. I'm not going to make this too long, okay? We identify the people of the Lord, the true people of the Lord, the true witnesses, not the Masonic confusion. And what they've done is they've played on your emotions and pushed love doctrine on you, just like the other so-called pastors and preachers that have let us down. Okay. Let's first look at the people who the Most High is dealing with. Okay. The children of Israel went into captivity, into 5 captivities. Okay. So they're in captivity right now in another Egypt. This is the house of bondage for the children of Israel all over the earth, because they were scattered in slavery during 70 AD when Israel fell, and the Romans took them into captivity. So at Jeremiah 14:2, it says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish, they are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up, because the true people are no longer in those Jerusalem gates. The true people are black unto the ground. Okay, so that's the first point that you need to take a look at. Revelations 1. We'll look at that. All right, so this is John, the apostle, the revelator. So John was given a revelation on the island of Patmos, in which he was exiled to, and he had a vision, and he saw what the Messiah, the Hamashiach, looked like. Okay, Revelations 1 verses 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So as you can see, he had woolly hair, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So when you look back at his feet, your feet is just, it shows your skin color, and that's the color of your whole body. When we take a brass piece of brass and we burn it in a furnace, or anything for that matter, what color does it turn? Okay, I guess you guessed it. It should be black. Okay. If you burn brass, or if you burnish brass, it's going to be a dark brown color. Okay. So the Messiah, the Hamashiach, the one you call Jesus, in which really his name is Yahushua, in which in Paleo Hebrew, when you break down the name, it's Yahushua. There was no letter J's, so you use a Y in the name instead of a J. Okay, because letter J didn't come until the 1500s. If you just Google that. Okay, so we can see that he was a dark-skinned man. All right, let's look at Acts 13:1. I think that's what that is. Okay, and this is the apostles. Okay, Now there were in the church that was in Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas, Simeon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Interestingly, Barnabas and Simon, that they were called Niger, okay, or Niger, okay. So this term is to denote that they were black, without a doubt, okay. All right. So all right, let's look at another point here, and we're gonna go straight into the curses in which came upon the Israelites, if they did not keep the laws of the Lord. These are the curses that will come upon them. We'll examine. We'll look at verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of the sheep. So all these curses would come on this nation of people. Okay, now let's go down to 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. So we know that the children of Israel were taken from the west coast of Africa. After 70 AD, they fled into Africa, and a lot of them were taken captive and taken to Rome and Spain, okay, where the house of David was taken to Spain. And what happened was the Catholic Church, after they regained the dominion again, what I mean is that the Jews were ruling in from 700 AD until 1300, you know. So even probably before that. So because they were ruling for 1,000 years, according to the Book of Revelations, in which the Jehovah's Witnesses is teaching that this happens later. But no. This is already happened. The Romans were ruling for hundreds of years, and the Greeks were also. You know, all of them were Edomites. Okay, Edomite Romans. Okay, and during the 200 AD, Septimius Severus became leader. He was one of the he was probably Israelite, because he was from the they say he was from the African region. So, but I think what happened was, I don't think, I pretty much know that he took control and became a emperor of Rome. And from that point on, after his rulership, his sons ruled. And then after that, we hear not a whole lot about what the rulership was until they said they fell in 400 AD. But interestingly, the Jews conquered Spain in 700 AD, and in that period that's missing is the Dark Ages, in which was hidden from the world. And that's why we know that the Edomites that regain rulership are the representative of the devil and Satan, because they pretty much are the ones who, once they became in power in the 1300s, they raised up an image of the Messiah as someone who looked just like them. And they are the ones who are the deceiver, because you have to understand the deceiver, meaning the devil means deceiver, and the Satan means the adversary. So basically they're the adversary against the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Okay, and the Israelites, the the Jews who were taken down, and the families that were left into Spain were ordered to become worshipers of white Jesus and Christianity, and they refused, and they got sent to West Africa eventually. From Portugal, they got kicked out of Spain, and the families were shipped over to West Africa and the islands. Okay, so what I'm getting at is the true witnesses are us. If you're a Negro or a Negro descendant, or you're a Negro Native American, because a lot of us did make it to America. So it was because it was Negroes already here in America. Then you are could be a descendant of the Israelites. Okay. All right. So the true witnesses, when it comes to these Jehovah's Witnesses, they say they are the witnesses. The only witnesses thereof would be the Negroes that are in their congregations. They're the true royalty of the earth. Okay. Um, all right. So we'll go to 64, and it tells you what happened. Deuteronomy 28:64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So this is what happened to us. We went off and got caught up into Islam and other religions, and the Most High cursed us. Okay, some of us gave in and became Christians. You know, and therefore the Most High cursed us, and He curses to the fourth generation. So that's the reason why we're still on the bottom now. The so-called African American is on the bottom, and interestingly, so is the Native Americans, and some of the Latinos as well. So are on the bottom. Okay, so basically, the seed line of the fathers that went out, most of us experience similar episodes from the curses, and that's the reason why you see a lot of us at the bottom. So it's evident. It's really glaringly evident, definitely with the African Americans, so-called African Americans. They're really Israelites. Okay, but at the end, at the Deuteronomy 28:68, this happened to us. It did not happen to no white Jews that are in Israel today. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That's why we know who we are. We know that this happened to us. We also know that the Negro Native Americans that were here in America were shipped out as well to back to Europe and places like that. That's the reason why we know that we are the Israelites. We are the true witnesses. What are we witnessing? We're witnessing the rulership of Esau, Edom. The Romans rule this earth in wickedness, in total wickedness. Okay, how do we know that? Let's go to Psalms 83. And I'm doing this video to hopefully some Jehovah's Witnesses will look at this and understand, and if they're Negro descent, and come into back to the Lord in spirit and truth. Okay, Psalms 83. Let me find that here. And they use this at the they use Psalms 83:18 to explain the name of the Most High, in which that's not His name. Okay, we'll go to 83:1. It's not Jehovah, it's Yahweh. 83 and 1. Now let's read it. This is what happened. This is a vision from King David. Okay, Psalms 83. We'll start at verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And it names number one, aka the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, and Moab, and Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, and inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also joined with them. They are hoping the children of Lot, Selah. So these are all the nations that uh, made a pact and a confederacy long ago. Okay, and that's the reason why you see uh, the Ishmael and the Arabs ruling over us. You see Moab, which are the Chinese, Hagarenes, and Gabal, the Africans, and Ammon, the Japanese, Amalek, which is these Israeli Jewish people. All of them rule over and are up at a higher status than the Israelite Negro. Okay, Edom, aka number one, they're the ones who are the Romans. They are the descendants of the white people, and they are the ones who pierce the Messiah, and therefore the judgment and will go against Edom, and the Lord is going to destroy America because of it, because of the sinfulness of it. But what I'm trying to point out here is that what came against Israel makes them the true witnesses, because the Most High prophesied that all these curses would come against them, and that they would be ruled over by their enemies. Okay, and the only people that has happened to is the Negro man and their descendants. Also, the Native American man, Latinos. Okay, on this side, because at Jeremiah 23 and 5, let's take a look at that. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So where are they gonna be brought out of? Let's take a look at this. Verse 8. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So they will be led out of the north country. Okay, and the north country is where the Israel was sent by way of the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, they were sent to Brazil. They were sent to America, and that's what this scripture is talking about. Okay, we are the witnesses of the very cup of the Lord's affliction. Let's look at Joel 3 verses 6, which explains and identifies us as well. So it's no need to talk about this Masonic Jehovah Witness weird concept or ideas, because the Bible tells you directly. Joel 3 and 6. The children of Judah also The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. See, because the Africans, in which occupied the area of West Africa, sold the children of Judah to the Edomites. Okay, let's read that again. The children also of Judah and children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. So what this is telling you is that the Africans that were in the land when the children of Judah, the Israelites, were on the west coast of Africa dwelling, sold them to the Grecians, which are our modern day white people. Okay, so this only happened to one group of people. Okay, so they're the true witnesses of what happened to them. Okay, let's look at Joel 2:27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. So he's the God of Israel. He ain't the God of the whole nations. So what they have done is they've put themselves into Bible prophecy. And what I mean by that the Jehovah's Witnesses are just Christian, New World Order Christians. And that's basically what all these Christians are. They want to bring everybody together when the Most High separated the nations from Israel. Okay? If you understand that. Okay? In prophecy. Okay? Let's look at Deuteronomy 7:6. It says, For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are on the face of the earth. Okay? There's so many scriptures. And as it said in Psalms 83, we were the hidden ones. We can take a look at that again up here so you can get the understanding. Okay, Psalms 83 verses 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They were hidden in slavery. That's how. And they discontinued when they went into slavery and they separated the families. They lost their heritage. They lost their way, their understanding of who they were, okay, as a people. And that's in Jeremiah 17:4. This only happened to one group of people, one nation. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So as you can see, the only people were the Negroes and their descendants that this happened to. We were brought here to America and we were tortured. There's a lynching museum in Georgia. Over 7,000 people were lynched. Okay, and our ancestors suffered. Why did they suffer? They suffered because they violated the law of the Lord, and the Most High punished them for it. Amos 3:1. Okay. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So the Lord only knows Israel. He's only dealing with Israel. He's not dealing with any other nation. So if you're a Christian, you're trying to gather all the nations together, you're wasting your time, because all the other nations are going to be servants and slaves in the kingdom. Okay? How do we know that? Let's go to Isaiah 14 and 1. Isaiah 14 and 1. So all this oppression, all of us getting shot down in the street, all of the witchcraft that they use with the Hollywood movies and the distractions and stuff to keep us from the word of the Lord, none of it's going to work. Okay, the children of Israel are waking up as we speak. The Lord is quickening them in the spirit, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this word. And we're going to succeed and become the priests that we were set out to be. We will be the priest of the earth. Okay. Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So the all that happened, we were put in ships. We were naked, no clothes, fed food, were chained in the ships and all that, tossed back and forth. All of that is going to come back down on the Edomites, the curse of the earth, the wicked. That's who they are. Unfortunately for them, they're going to taste the cup of slavery that we tasted. Okay. And let's go to 3. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Okay, so we were made to serve bondage in America, another Egypt. Okay, the Lord said he would send us to another Egypt on ships. That was Deuteronomy 28 verses 68. So if you can get back and read that again. Okay, let's look at that cup. Let's examine that cup here. Jeremiah 51 verse 7. Babylon. That's where we're at now. The Most High speaks in similitudes and visions, and the similitude of Babylon is America. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad. The wine of her philosophy, her and wickedness that she spread all over the earth, her homosexuality, her transgenderism, all that stuff. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone in his own country, for her judgment reaches into heaven and is lifted up to the skies. The Lord has brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it's the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So the Lord is going to raise up the other nations against America. And the reason why is because of this servitude and this, the way they treated the children of Israel. and for the controversy of Zion, because they're saying that they took over the land, they took over Israel. So since they took over Israel, um, the Lord is going to fix that controversy by putting all of Idumea and the other nations into servitude. Psalms 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel. So the Lord is going to bestow upon the sons of Jacob spiritual power, in which we're going to rule over all nations and possess them, okay, in the land of the Lord. And that's what this is all about. The true saints are Israel. They're the saints. No one else, no other nations. The saints of the Most High are Israel. Let's see, can I find that? And here we go. Psalms 148:14. And I guess this is a good ending spot because this is pretty much a ends all be all. He also exalts the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord. And with that I say, if you're a part of this cult religion called Jehovah's Witnesses, you might want to run, because the Most High has a date and an hour to destroy Babylon the Great, aka America, and all these wicked churches that are promoting the New World Order to bring all the nations together, and meanwhile destroying the children of Israel. And he's going to eliminate all of them. So you might want to get out while you can, as it says in let me get that straight in my head. I think it was Revelation 18:4. Yeah. So it says, "Get out of her, my people." That's what they're talking about. All these religions, they're promoting idol worship. This imagery of white Jesus is an idol they created, okay, in order to gain control and power and become gods on earth. And with that, I say Shalom. All praises to Yahweh. All praises to Yahweh Shai. Shalom. This is hidden in the Jehovah's Witnesses book, Draw Close to Jehovah. And it shows straight off the back the um, actual racism. They put up an Edomite white man as the Messiah. So they are promoting white supremacy. So, but if you understand anything about Freemasonry, they hide things in plain sight. They enjoy doing this in Freemasonry and Illuminati. They do it in the world, in your soda cans and your different symbolisms that hide things. But anyway, let's look at what really you probably don't see, but you're going to see it better here. Okay, see that on the chest there? So when you move it left, when you put it in the computer, that's what it is on his chest. See, they hid that in plain sight, and the people don't even know it. Okay, all right. A skull at the bottom. It's no coincidence. Okay, But if you show this to any Jehovah's Witness, they'll just say it was just some sort of a mistake or error, because they're under the spirit of delusion. They're under demonic possession. Okay. So, okay, this is the original picture again. So, any of you who are Jehovah's Witnesses are not thinking that I've doctored this up myself or anything like that. You see it there? Hopefully you do. All right, that's the original picture of the chest. There's a Baphomet in the chest. That's what it is, okay? So here, when you look on here, there's somebody who did the actual computer work to turn that face around and invert it, and that's what it is on his chest. Okay? Not only is he, a white supremacist image, but also they put in there some sort of a skull type image at the bottom, which, if you notice in the book, in the original picture, it's in there too. He just had to invert it in order to bring it out. Okay, if I can get the book to open a little bit more here. It's in there. See the teeth by his knees, the teeth of the skull by his knees. All right, and when it's blown up, that's what it is. It's a skull at the bottom. Okay, this is what they're handing out to millions of people around the world. They were anyway, until the Most High Yahweh smitten this place. Now they're not handing out anything. All right.